Hi, my name is Amanda.
I'm Shirley.
We're sisters, and this is our new podcast called Real Quick Dude.
Dot, dot, dot.
Dot, dot, dot. The dot, dot, dot is very, very important. So, we're starting this podcast because the world is ending anyways. So, who cares? Who cares? And the other piece of it is that we're sisters. We speak on the phone every single day. They're over hour-long conversations, and we've gotten to the point where we're just sick of talking to each other. We yapped too hard that now we decided to bring internet strangers into it.
Yeah, we really want to be criticized. No, I think that our conversations are iconic.
They are.
And we have so much knowledge and life experience and very differentiated experience, even though we come from the same parents.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're not influencers. We have no other motive in this really other than to decompress and do something for ourselves also.
Definitely. Yeah. I think it'll just be fun to see if we could build like a little community. So, we're moms, we're millennials, we're both career women, but again, to her point, I just think it's fun. We really don't even post on social media. We're not
at all
big social media girlies. I recently started dabbling a bit because I knew that I wanted to do this podcast. But we've had this idea for a few years, so we decided if not now, when?
So literally 3-4 years ago, we joked about starting a podcast. 2 years ago, we wrote 50 episodes in a notes app, in a shared notes app. We just opened our equipment today.
Got it for Christmas 2.5 years ago.
And by we, I mean my brother-in-law, who is our sound engineer. Shout out.
Shout out to him. You know what? So that's my husband, and he just kind of, unfortunately, he just goes along with our delusions and our nonsense that we always put him through. So shout out to him.
And honestly, like, there are times throughout the week I don't want to hear about how the world is falling apart.
No, literally.
I just want to hear, like, chill things. And I think, why not bring you all along? And by you all, our kids and, our friends who are going to subscribe.
Our sprinkle of friends. Shout out to you guys for being our...
I've had 5 friends my entire life. And so if you all don't subscribe, I'm going to cry. But yeah, we just want this to be lighthearted, something to do for ourselves. We also are really great moms, and we want to teach our kids that you can literally do anything, and the only person that stops you is you. And so why not?
And that's the thing is, like, I feel like when we were in our 20s, we wouldn't have done this.
Never.
I feel like in our 20s, you would have never caught us doing this because what's the word?
We're private.
Yeah, we're really private, and I feel like we would have just cringed so hard at ourselves. Like, who do we think we are?
Everything.
As women, I feel like we're really learning that your 30s are where you really thrive. You don't care what people think anymore. You're more yourself. You're more free, more open. So I was like, oh my God. I feel like this is something I always saw us doing, but now is like the perfect time in our lives. Now is like, we've had so many different experiences. We've lived a lot of life for only being in our 30s.
Yeah.
You'll stay tuned. It's wild. It's wild out here.
We have so much stuff that's really relatable, whether you are a mom, not a mom, whether you are career driven, or whether you're an entrepreneur. My sister's an entrepreneur. I am a corporate girly. Whether, you are happily married, whether you're a divorcee. I love the title divorcee. I feel like it makes me sound...
You've never been happier to be labeled anything more than a divorcee.
It makes me sound very chic. So, whether you... all walks of life. I just feel like we have so much things to share from a relatable standpoint.
Yeah. And I think we have really different perspectives because even though we're sisters and we grew up in the same household and everything, we're really, really different. So everyone thinks they're like, you guys are twins. We're actually super, super different. And we have had really contrasting experiences. I think is the thing. We both went about our lives in a very different manner. The one thing that always stayed constant, though, is our bond, and that I always look to my sister to guide me through everything. So when we were younger, we were not close.
I did not fuck with her at all. Amanda was a book nerd, which is honestly iconic. She was book nerd, super
I was a book
smart.
girly before book talk.
Literally, she was the Harry Potter influencer before influencing was a thing. No, but she was just so brilliant and so in tune with like who she was, and she just stayed true to herself. Genius. She has a book. It's been in the library. It's traveled.
No. You ain't shit. But Shirley has always been just effortlessly cool. Just hilarious. My sister's probably the funniest person that I know, and she doesn't let everyone see that side of her. She's really, really guarded. I think much more guarded than I am. But I was like, the world has to see. People have to see how hilarious she is. I can't wait for the podcast and for everybody to see her true personality. Our hour-long phone calls that we were talking about is really what drove us closer together. As we became adult women, we got married, we started having kids. You know, I feel like my sister is who I would call for any and every little thing. She literally raised me. But I really do feel like those phone calls are, you know, from going from an upbringing that we weren't really close as sisters in that way. But I did always know I could count on her. And of course, like I would always come to her when I really needed her. But I think that the phone conversations that we had are really what brought us closer together. And now we're so codependent. It's sickening.
We are codependent. However, I think if life allows you to bond with your sibling in the way that we bonded, it's such a privilege and honor. And so we want to share that with you all.
I think that now in our 30s, we're a lot more brave. And I think that it's all just for fun. It's for a bit of a laugh. It's all like silly. Like, who cares? I personally am like so excited. I'm like, let's do this. Let's do this thing. Let's just fuck around and find out.
We'll look back on life and be like, wow, we took a chance and we did that. And we'll reiterate, like, I'm horrified. I really don't post on social media, but like, again, who cares? I feel like we have so much to share. And I would love to be like the person that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm in my car with my kids and they're screaming, but I'm gonna listen to real quick, dude, ... and just decompress a little bit, and then you might have to put an ear pod in, depending on what the topic is.
Yeah.
Because we're going to keep it real. Yeah. We have to stay authentic to ourselves.
That's the problem, though. I think that's also why we didn't do it before, is that we don't really have filters. Unfortunately, that's the problem. We're certified yappers. And, like, when you're a certified yapper, you're yapping, okay? You're talking, you're chatting, you don't know what you're saying. Next thing you know, everybody knows all your lore. Okay? And that's kind of how we are. I feel like when our friends hang out with us together, they laugh so hard because they're like, you guys tell these stories. And I'm like, that's just, you know.
Every week there's something incredibly crazy and dramatic. And so this episode is our pilot episode. Our equipment is, I don't know.
It's probably all over the place.
This microphone is here for aesthetics. It doesn't work.
We can figure it out.
No, it doesn't work. But anyway, yeah, we're just gonna go for it. So we are going to take this podcast, pilot episode, to introduce ourselves. And then ask each other some questions. And then each week we'll have a designated topic, whether, again, it's around being a mother or just being a girly in your 30s or being a career person. Or we might also do a little bit of reality stuff because I feel like that keeps me sane and centered. And so, again, all well-rounded. We're going to spend some time introducing ourselves and telling you a little bit about who we are.
Okay, so like I said, I'm Amanda. I'm 30. Oh, God. 31?
Don't
32?
tell them how old you are.
I don't know. I'm in my early 30s, but I'm a mom of 3 kids. I'm married. I've been married for 10 years. I was basically a child bride. And yeah, I'm a real estate agent currently. I have been a real estate agent for the past 9 years. It's been a long time. A bit about me.
So I'm Shirley, as we said at the top of the video. I am in my 30s. You don't need to know what spectrum of the 30s. I have 5 kids, and so would you believe it? Between the both of us, we have 8 children. I mean, love them to pieces. I have a blended family. I have 2 girls of my own. I'm a divorcee. And then I have 3 bonus kiddos who I love so much and have changed my life. I am a special needs parent, which, we've said it throughout the video already that we have so much to share. That community, no matter how much awareness there is, it tends to be very isolating. And so I hope to share my experiences and my daughter's experiences with you all so that you feel less alone. Like,
Yeah.
anytime I cross anyone who is a special needs parent or whatever in the neurodivergent community, I just feel so seen. And so we'll be sharing that with you all. I'm not married, but I'm happily in a relationship. And I am a corporate girly. And so these are my own thoughts. Everything
Disclaimer.
Here today. Disclaimer, these are my own thoughts and not affiliated with any company that I've worked for in the past. Mind your business. You don't need to know that. I am your typical corporate girly. I love my job. I love people. And pretty much dedicate my entire life to my kids. All 5 of them. And yeah, that's a tiny bit about me. What am I missing? I'm hilarious.
And very humble.
With a lot of Kanye on top of that. Edit this out. We don't fuck with Kanye right now.
Oh, no, we hate him. He's canceled.
Yeah, in today's world.
But, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to tell you a little bit about we already kind of alluded to it, but tell me about why you want to do this.
I think that, for me, I've always wanted to do something like this. For a really, really long time, I would talk to my friends about it. My sister would be like, I want to start a YouTube. I want to do this. I want to do that. But honestly, I was just too scared, which sucks because then you just waste time. Ultimately, I see all of these people that put themselves out there. And in my 30s, back in my 20s, I was like, oh, I can't. Now in my 30s, I'm like, no, I think it's so fun. I think it's really cool. And if you think that that's something that you might be good at or something that's worth pursuing, I think that you should just go for it. And I'm really in my go for it era. I was a really, really reserved person for a long time. I was a teen mom, so I really kept myself. My life was just my kids, my husband, that's it. In my 30s, I feel like I've really found myself, and I feel like I'm more myself than I ever have been before. And a piece of that was doing something like this. I personally would really like for us to build a little community. And I'm not even genuinely like thinking like we're going to blow up, but even just a small, tight knit community of women that are just trying to raise their kids and do their jobs and do their very best. That's what we're constantly striving to do, is just our best.
We've evolved as a society where we are so like reserved, right? Because we count on social media so much. And so I think that's part of my motivation is like to really put myself out there. Going back to my daughter with special needs, I hid for over 5 years because I didn't understand her diagnosis. I was scared to go places because I would get recorded, and have isolated myself so much. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so private and don't post anything and all the things. But one thing she has taught me is that, like, to see the world in a completely different way, and like, who cares?
Yeah, literally, who cares?
Literally cares. And so I'm excited to do something for us. I'm excited to motivate our children. Me as a mother, I have always taught my girls, like, go for whatever you want, and this is me showing them that. And so love to have you guys along the way.
That's the other thing, is this podcast is really going to center around obviously us and our relationship as sisters. And as just much more than that, we're also like best friends. And I think that my sister has really pushed me outside of my comfort zone throughout the years. I think that she's really made me be less scared and more confident and more just like willing to go for things that normally I wouldn't go for. She's been like one of my biggest cheerleaders in life. I've been talking about this forever, and she a couple of years ago bought me podcasting equipment for Christmas, and she was like, stop talking about it, bitch. Just do it. And I was like, ah! But I was like, but I need you. Yeah. And of course, we let the fear hold us back a couple more years, but here we are. We freaking made it.
Literally, so in my career, just to share with you all, the two of you guys who are going to be watching, I spent a lot of my time advising people on, you know, their career and like not letting, you know, people stop them or like, you know, go for what you want to do. And so I need to apply that to myself. Little Shirley and little Amanda would be literally bawling their eyes out right now because there's no way we would have ever thought that we would be brave enough or even in a position to, you know, start a
yeah, that's the other thing is I think that we're so settled in our lives and like we have everything finally like just settled, just taken care of. Our kids are really well off and do so well in school and sports and this and that. And we worked really, really hard to get to this place. But I feel like now I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like, let's do this for ourselves. Let's put ourselves out there, see what can come of it. I am a really big dreamer. I feel like I've always been a really big dreamer. And I don't even mean just like for this podcast, because who knows, nothing might come of it. Really great things might come of it.
I'm so proud of this.
Yeah, regardless, I just think like if you have a dream or something that you want to do, just freaking go for it. That's genuinely how I feel. I'm so excited to do this with you. There's nobody else that I could do this with in the world. We'll be funnier in other episodes. This is the little pilot. We're giving it a whirl, okay?
I think if you, I'm going to be real sappy. So sorry. But like, I feel so blessed to be able to pursue a dream that I've had since lunch with my sister. But either way, to get back to being sappy, I am so honored and privileged that I get to do this with my sister. She literally makes me a better person. When people say, "Oh, I couldn't be here," I would never be here if. No, I mean that. Like, it's crazy again. Like, we were not close, but I have my person.
Yeah,
and it's so cool.
Yeah, so basically you're going to be just included in our phone conversations instead of just yapping for nothing.
We literally would have been on the phone talking like this.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy because my boyfriend will sometimes hear me on the phone and he's like, what can you even talk about? I'm like, everything and anything.
And nothing. Everything and nothing. Like, just nonsense. Sometimes I'm like, girl, all right, we gotta cut this off.
Yeah, since like, get your homework done, baby. Also, yeah, oh my God, I hate this bitch.
Yeah.
And so excited. What else do we want to tell our one follower?
Stay motherfucking tuned.
Okay, period.
Okay, bye. But we didn't even talk about why we called it Real Quick, Dude.
That's embarrassing.
Wow, that's crazy because we're gonna leave you guys with no context. No context is wild. Okay. When we had this dream at lunch. No, I'm just kidding. Breakfast. It's been years. But we would always talk about like, okay, if we do this, like, what would we name our podcast? And literally the name, it just came to us instantly because during our ridiculously long, unnecessary phone calls, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna let you go, blah, 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 whatever. And then before we hang up, I'll go, real quick, dude, wait. And then I'll get into a whole new topic. And then she'll try to hang up, and then she's like, yeah, I really gotta go, but real quick, dude. So it just instantly came to us because that's like our line when we're on the phone.
And then that's how we end up on the phone for an hour.
Yeah.
And then it's
real
like,
quick is like,
and we'll call, like, trying to be like, real quick, dude.
Yeah.
That means it's a 20-minute conversation.
Yeah, that means, yeah.
If we have not said real quick dude in the first 30 minutes, it's an hour-long conversation. Yeah. And so welcome to
Real Quick Dude. ... Bye.
Cheers to our podcast.